do it again. Watch me win.
Okay, great. There are people that say Elson speaking to the mic.
No,
am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible now. We had a problem with your mic.
All right, cool.
Any fond memories?
Audible?
Very audible.
No, you're good. You're good.
Any
You're good.
fond memories of Edith Nawakwi?
Yes. First of all, thank you for inviting me, Kalenga, Elson. Yeah,
It took a while.
I know. Better late than never.
I felt like I was actually beginning to harass you. I felt like I called you like 10 times yesterday.
I thought you were not real. I get a lot of these
You
calls.
thought I wasn't real?
Yeah, I get a lot of these calls, and yet it's just like a scam.
Wow.
Until I was convinced you are for real, then I had to spare time.
Then you had, right.
They come for a podcast when I get there. Can you help me with money for rent? Can you help
No,
me
you
with,
lie.
That has happened to you before?
Can you help me with money for a Pamela? And
So to be
can you help
honest,
me with money for a beer?
so to be honest, we set all this up. This really is not
No.
happening.
I got convinced you're for real. then that's when I agreed. And
Cool.
Apologies for the delay. I had to take my wife. She was traveling to Asia with the kids.
Nice.
And
Wait, Dubai?
No, Korea, South Korea, not North Korea.
Not North Korea. That's the wrong Korea
Wrong
to
Korea.
go to.
South Korea.
They may never come back if they go to the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to do that. A husband, man must do. Even if you don't show up at the airport when they are coming or going, you're asking for divorce. I don't want to be divorced. So I had to do that. Then from there, I had to go to the registrar of societies, home affairs. That's a political topic.
Was everything okay there?
Yeah. We went to push action. We don't believe in talking. I believe in arriving. I wrote you a letter. Why haven't you done this? Tell me why. So that was it. But so I kept you waiting. I apologize. It's not in my nature. But yeah, so I'm glad to be here, and
Awesome.
thank you for inviting me.
I was asking about. I know as politicians you were very opposed on so many things, but I'm sure there's fond memories that you have of Edith Nawakwi before we proceed.
Yes. Thank you for that question. I actually, before I became a politician, I have a history with the late Madam Edith Nawakwi. May her soul rest in peace. What most people don't know, Kalenga Nelson, is that my degree at the University of Zambia was in agricultural economics. So I learned agriculture, how to grow crops, how to do animals, and the economics aspect I specialize is how to make money using agriculture. That was my degree. And that was the time that she was the Minister of Agriculture and Minister of Finance, and I was young then. So I was working for AgriFlora. We were exporting export vegetables, carrots, manchtu, baby corn, green beans to Europe and America. So we'd get small-scale farmers to grow, and I was the agronomist. Get farmers to grow, pluck the crops, pack it in a pack shed, freeze it. In the middle of the night, it's in the cargo plane. In the morning, it's in Sainsbury in London. One of the farmers was Madam Edith Nawakwi. She had a farm, Lusaka West. So she called me, and I went there to set a land, and she was growing the vegetables for us. Then we started interacting, and we knew each other from then. And then when I became a politician, we would interact, but very solid woman, very disciplined woman, no-nonsense woman. She hated corruption. She feared no one. Whether you are a woman or a man, young or old, if you are wrong,
You're wrong.
You're breaking the constitution of Zambia, you're stealing public money, she would take you on. She took on presidents. She took on President Chiluba, who was a boss when she wanted to go for a third term. Her and Deepak Patel and many others, they took him on as a sitting president, and they called him a thief. May he so rest in peace, but he made a mistake. He took them to court for calling him a thief, and that became a Zamtrop account. A lot of things were reviewed, and then she went into a pact with President HH when they were in opposition. They formed the UDA, United Democratic Alliance.
Yeah.
And I think there she expected to have been the president because she had more experience than HH. She was dribbled, he became the candidate. Since then, they never saw eye to eye, and she just took him on to debt, opposing anything good he does, anything bad he did. Sorry, I reversed that. Anything bad he did. And she was an opposition. And I learned from her. That's my disposition now because of people like Edith Nawakwi, who I grew up and they've ended up being my mentors without them saying so. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's Kalenga who's done something wrong, I should be able to take you on, whether you're handsome or not, whether the youths love you or not. Same with Kalenga, same with Elson. Nawakwi, if you are president, that's where I am now. If you are president of Zambia, but you are doing something wrong, I'll take you on, especially if I'm convinced. You sell a mine, like Mopani mine. The laws of Zambia says before you sell any public asset, you have to bring that proposition to parliament to say, as government and as President HH, I want to sell Mopani mine. I want to sell Zesco. Even Zesco, there are a lot of buyers that want to buy it. But because of that, in the Constitution of 2016, they said, we cannot allow politicians to sell our assets. It has to come in there. The people, the representatives, the whole country, the MPs, they debate and agree. So HH and his government knew, if we take Mopani in there, they will oppose it. So they quickly sold it without bringing it in parliament. So I realized they've broken the Constitution of Zambia. Article 210 says you must come there. Remember those days, Moisen store, ZNBC store, UBZ, they were just selling. So the law now says you have to get permission. So they didn't on Mopani, they sold it to the Arabs in Dubai. You ask them, Bwana HH and Bwana Minister, Honorable Paul Kabuswe, how much did you sell Mopani mine? Because it was 100% owned by Zambians. ZCCMIH represents Zambians. At the time they took over, August 2021. So they said, no, we sold it to the Dubai guys for zero ngwe. We just gave them. They mentioned about some derivatives that is complicated, but summarized, those guys paid zero. They took Mopani mine. It has a mine in Kitwe, a very deep mine, and a mine in Mufurila, and a lot of assets, plenty of copper there, with a lifespan of the next 40, 50 years. They gave it to the Dubai guys, management rights, and said for free. So I've taken them to court. All I'm saying is I learned that from Madam Edith Nawakwi, to take on anyone that breaks the law, be it by corruption. So I honor her. I'm saddened that she's died. She was my mother, my mentor, and she'll be missed by
dearly.
Zambia. Yeah.
You brought up HH. In the mix, you also mentioned Edgar Lungu. In the recent past, there's been so many stories of you selling, or is it buying political parties for what, $5 million, $10 million? What's really going on? Are you buying political parties? What's the story behind this?
I'm glad.
Selling.
I'm glad you asked that question. That I sold PF first I sold to HH. First of all, Kalenga and Elson, I'll be polite in this phrase. When a vehicle is moving, that's when it's looked at. Yeah. So to me, it only shows that, that means I'm moving as a politician. Then you start getting absurd accusation. So when I took over PF, there was a vacancy. Everybody had resigned. There was a vacuum. So when we took over on 24th October 2023, then it was said, those who didn't make it in PF say, no, he sold. They created a narrative. I've sold PF to HH for $5 million. Now, because I've been told and guided by the people, owners of the PF, the grassroots, in all the 10 provinces that work with President Edgar Lungu as former father of the PF and of the nation, I reach out to him. These guys now, they change. They say, you have sold to ECL for $5 million. So I got $5 million from HH and $5 million from Edgar Lungu. That's $10 million. Kalenga, do you know I would not even be seated here? I would be in Mauritius with my children. I would retire for the rest of my life.
Drinking pina coladas.
I don't know whether to be alcoholic, the one mocktail, or the real thing.
Yeah.
But no, political parties are not like that. No one has. First of all, HH can pay me 5 million. He's a businessman. He give me 5 million for what? Edgar Lungu, the PF is his per se. He's the former president. Why would he fork out money to pay me? To regain is the owner, as far as I'm concerned. Sata was the owner, but he died, and Edgar Lungu took him over by 7 years. Whatever the argument in between, it doesn't matter. He inherited Michael Sata. So now when he retired, I'd like to believe I inherited by whatever circumstances. But then the one who owned PF, why would he buy PF again? He didn't buy PF when to take over from Sata. So it's no sense accusation, but I'm enjoying them. They're giving me the platform that I want in terms of media. They send politics, negative publicity or good publicity is publicity.
So question. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you registered a political party during the time of Sata, Democratic
The Orange
Front.
Party.
It's called Democratic Front.
Wasn't it the Orange Party?
Democratic Front, DF it was called.
Yeah.
History, maybe you guys were not born yet. That was 2014.
He was born in 1970.
1970.
Yeah.
Makes the two of us.
What age mates?
You look.
Oh, you were born 1972?
Yeah, you make me look.
But you see what politics do to people.
I look old.
Yeah, you look old. You look old, way older
You
than
look
me,
like you were born 1990.
You see what I mean?
Don't join politics.
Now he dyes his hair. That's the difference.
He dies.
Yeah, he dyes his hair.
And I go to the gym.
So you were telling us about DF.
So when Sata died, like in any home, even in homes, when the father of the house dies, there's usually wrangles between the children. Especially if you think of it, if it is, imagine a parent had 50 wives and it dies, then the children remains. I'm just using it as an example of what a political party is. The founder, even in UPND it happened. When the founder Mazoka died, there was wrangles. Others who thought were preferred to take over, like Sakwiba Scotta, Given Lubinda, and this man who's gone into oblivion, this man from northern province, Wachisanga, thought they were vice presidents to Mazoka, so they were entitled to take over when he died. He trusted them. But then HH came from nowhere, from Wengwa, and whatever Mingalato used, money or otherwise, he bullied his way to take over UPND and take over from Mazoka. But then there was fighting, and that's when Sakwiba Scotta went out, formed the ULP party, and that's when Wachisanga retired, and Given Luminda left, came to PF and joined Sata and many others. So even us as PF, when Michael Sata died, may he so rest in peace, in 2014, the faction came up, okay? And whatever happened there, Edgar Lungu emerged as a recognized president. There were two conventions. Sampa won on Sunday in Kabwe at Mulungushi University. Edgar Lungu won a day before. So we left there with two presidents, Sampa and Edgar. We also had my supporters here did. They declared him the winner, they declared me the winner. Then we came to Lusaka. He went to court, I went to court, and we fought. Rulings were made in favor of Edgar Lungu. That's when I withdrew and accepted and worked with him. But in between, people around him started frustrating me. I left him and formed my party called DF. And we had a lot of support, and that was the Orange Party. And
but sorry, just to catch you there, was DF not registered while Sata was still alive?
no, here's the catch. So when political parties, it was not registered, but there were people who were with me, the senior people who came. Oh, there's this party, there's this party, there's this party. You stand on this party. People want you, they don't want Edgar Lungu. So the people came and offered parties, and A number of them. There was UDF, United Democratic Front. There was Democratic Front. So DF was not, and it was intact. Everything was going well until the Home Affairs Minister then, Davis Mwila, and the PF then were rivals, but they were in party, internal rivals that is, but they were in government. They deregistered that party.
So it was registered?
Yes.
While Sata was alive?
No, after Sata.
When was it registered?
I can't remember the details.
I can quickly check now.
Because I did not remember. I said people offered me political parties to stand on as president. They said the people are supporting me, but give it to me. Show me when it was registered, and I respond.
While he's doing that search, correct me if I'm wrong, but a short while ago, you were sent to represent the country at the Pan-African Parliament, and the government sent you to represent us there, right?
Yes or no?
Yes and no. Let's dwell more on the yes before we come to the no.
So just to give you a response, in 1991.
Okay, good.
Wait, what's 91?
Is when it was founded, the Democratic...
Front.
No, it says...
91?
No, hold on.
It's a wrong one. There's so many Democratic
No,
Front.
hold on, sorry, that's my mistake.
Democratic
That's the wrong one.
Elsen, Democratic
continue.
I was
Calendar.
asking about how you're attacking HH now when, at the time when you were being sent to the Pan-African Parliament, you were like friends with him. And then when that didn't go through, it's like you come back and then you turn on him and start attacking him again. Is it because of the failure of you going through at the Pan-African Parliament?
Good question. So correct information is power. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
To put the wrong narrative.
Yes, I need you to clear the air on that, yeah.
No, government did not send me to the Pan-African Parliament. Okay? There are international bodies within Africa for MPs and global organizations. So there is CPU, Commonwealth Parliamentary Union, Commonwealth. So all countries that were colonies of England, there's this association. Now we are independent. So they formed this association for MPs. From each country you send 5. And you choose a leader. They meet frequently around the world. There is also the IPU, International Parliamentary Union. I want to mention that. It's before I come to the PAP, Pan-African Parliament. That is important. This is an association of all MPs around the world. We have one association. It's called International Parliamentarian Union, IPU, okay? So every so often, maybe every 3 years, you choose leaders, a president, and vice president. That's where the Speaker of Parliament currently, Madam Nelly Muti, is in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, one of the former provinces of Russia, now is its own country. That's where she is currently with 5 MPs and the clerk who died yesterday. I don't know if that has come to your attention, Mr. Roy Ngulube. May he so rest in peace. So there are these gatherings. Now there's the Pan-African Parliament, which now this is a union of MPs just of Africa. We have parliaments in each African country. Now in 2004, presidents were there, Thabo Mbeki, Obasanjo, and Chiluba, and them started the AU and said, let's form a parliament for Africa, like the way they have a parliament in Europe, the EU parliament. So they formed it and they put rules. They said we should have 5 MPs from each country. And those MPs should not only be from the ruling party, they should be representing the representation in the parliament. So from the ruling party, opposition, and the independent. Okay, and they put the parliament in South Africa in Midrand, and so every 5 each country, when there's a new parliament, you go under elections, you choose 5 from the ruling, from the opposition, and independent. So from the ruling in Zambia in 2021, we were chosen. So for the ruling is Honorable Samakai, the MP for Mwinilunga. And for the ruling is Honorable Miriam Chonya, the MP for Kafue. For the opposition, it's Mao Sampa, the MP for Matero. And at the time, it was Mulenga Kampamba, the MP for Karulushi, who we since replaced with Honorable Jonathan Daka, the MP for Chadiza. Independent is Menyani Zulu, the MP for Nyimba. Now, when they chose us, so you are chosen by the political parties that represent you there. So I was chosen by my party to represent the opposition side of the Pan-African Parliament. UPND chose those two. So when the 5 of us met, we did elections to choose the team leader, because you need a team leader to lead the 5.
Right.
And I was elected the team leader of the Zambian delegation to the Pan-African Parliament. And then when you get there again, all of you have come from all countries, 52 MPs in 52 countries of Africa, times 5, that's about 250 MPs representing ruling parties and opposition in all the countries. You again sit to elect chairmen of committees. You have committees on rules, on public accounts, on audit, on legal, on culture, on agriculture, on trade. So in the committee of audit and public finance to give checks and balances for public finance of Africa, I stood, and all the members there, members represent all the regions of Africa, elected me as the chairperson of that committee. It's called CAPA, Committee on Accounts and Public Audit. So I was progressing there in my own capacity. Then there was election for the president of the parliament, like speaker of the parliament. It's a big job. We have Nelly Muta as speaker of the Zambian parliament. Pan-African parliament, the speaker now, you are the speaker of speakers of the Africa Parliament. I stood those elections. I asked President HH, sir, I'm standing for these elections. It's Zambia standing. Can you help me? I need you to lobby because I need to win. The position has been given to Southern Africa, SADC, because it rotates. So can you call your colleagues, the president of Southern Africa, to tell their MPs there to support me? No response. Other things, when you call him or text him, he responds. When you ask him, support me for this,
He actually responds to your messages.
Then, not now. Now he doesn't because we can't, because I blocked him. When
You blocked the president. You blocked HH.
I blocked HH.
On everything, WhatsApp, calls,
when he started
text messages.
sponsoring this Kachavinga to do a coup d'etat, when he took my SG on, my Secretary General sponsored him to do a coup d'etat to him, I sent him, sir, I see you are not sincere. I blocked him. It's now 6, 7, 8 months.
Has he reached out to you?
Can the president not go to Zigta to force and unblock?
I mean, it's not the power that he has, right? But has he reached out to you using other means to let you know he's been trying to reach you?
I don't know, and even if he did,
you wouldn't respond to that.
We used to communicate. When he travels, he comes back. I used to say, "Welcome back, Your Excellency," and he responds,
You're the only man I know who can actually.
And when he does something good, I'll say congratulations.
How would you chat on WhatsApp over text? How would you? WhatsApp.
You can only block on WhatsApp, and I blocked him, and I would never open him until elections in 2026. I will unblock him after the elections on 13th of August. That's a promise.
Okay, cool.
So he didn't support me. Listen to this. I didn't finish.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't support you because he did not think you were the right person for the job.
Listen to this. Eddie, who is here of Boba TV, was with me at those elections.
Yeah.
Even without his support, I even say, sir, we need finances to campaign any elections. This is about Zambia. There they were saying Zambia is standing. My opponent was a Zimbabwean. You know what? There, Mnangagwa sponsored that candidate. We had the Ministry of Finance officials there with a briefcase of money. We had the media team there.
From Zimbabwe?
Yes. We had the OP, plenty of money.
Yeah, and those guys move heavy with the dollar, eh?
No, they just support their own. That's why even this young white lady, Kirsty, won.
Coventry. She's now the president of the Olympics.
You know what? The entire system went and campaigned for her, and Mnangagwa and the government, it's done above board. They approve, let's support, and they go out there, and the candidate does nothing, they sponsor for you. But me, I was one ball. In Matero, we play better one ball. Guess what, Kalenga, Elsa? When the results came, because 5 MPs in SADC, 10 countries, that's 50 MPs.
Right.
And when the results came, Mao's Sampa 24.
Out of how many votes?
Wait. Chief Charumbira is even a chief. That's what I was asking you, but he's a chief in Masingo, their area. Chief Charumbira 25. Mao Sampa 24. The Zimbabwean candidate with all the support from the government there, me with zero support here from HH, lost by 1 vote. Isn't that so, Eddie? 1 vote had support. So what you don't see here, other MPs from other countries. So I lost by 1 vote.
So
and guess what? Before you come in, one Zambian did not come for elections, either deliberate or not. Remember, we are 5 from Zambia. We're only 4. One MP did not come. We offered to buy them a ticket and whatever accommodation, they didn't come. So I was shortchanged by 1 Zambian. If that Zambian had come, it was going to be a tie. And at most, then it would have gone to the parliament, where now West Africa MPs, East Africa, Central and North Africa would have now come in as the entire, and had more support out there. So I would have definitely won.
So you didn't
so
need,
without money,
you didn't need HH support.
Maybe that 1 vote I would have gotten. Adi just supported me just by calling the president of Angola or Mozambique and say support our person. No, at the AU in Addis Ababa, 2 weeks before election, I met him. I told Bradford.
You met HH?
I was there in my capacity as I get called for these international events. So I was in the same Nelson Mandela conference hall at the African Union where the heads of state were. And he was just seated a few rows there. So I walked into Bradford and said, I'd like to have a meeting with him when he's free. So he said, okay. He said he's agreed, you can meet. Okay, then I said on the agenda will be this, and also his support to the Pan-African Parliament. Then Bradford texts back, said the president is very busy, so he refused to meet me. Point is he did not support me. I realized this man cannot, this is about Zambia. Out there, they don't even know who the opposition really is. Had I won the Africa continent, all presidents of Africa, all MPs would have known that the speaker of the Africa Parliament
from Zambia.
is a Zambian.
Well, we're still going back to the same question. Is he obliged to support you if he does not think you're the right person for the job?
Well, as it were, he had no choice.
He did have
because
a
it's the people who voted for you,
No,
right?
no, listen. We have a candidate for the ADB Bank, Africa Development Bank. He has no choice but to support Dr. Maimbo because he's representing Zambia. Okay? Otherwise, he should not allow it. So the speaker authorized that could stand. So it was Zambia standing. When a Zambian is standing for an international, he has no choice but to support. He's the president for everybody. Otherwise, unless he say I'm not fit to be a Zambian. You had one there to have been news headline, you CNN or ETV or SABC, or in Zimbabwe, your country of it, your heart, you're a Zambian. The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Service, ZBS, would have a deadline. Zambia beats Zimbabwe as Speaker of Africa. So it was the Zambian name at stake, not Mao Sampa of Matero. Cool. And President HH refused to support me. Yeah.
Okay, so the point that I was trying to make, going back to when the DF was formed, it was 2011.
2011, good. So remember
so
what...
So
it wasn't,
when Sata just came in.
So Sata was still alive.
How ironic that I was a minister then enjoying the good support of Sata, I could form a party. No, I told you that after people realized that the support and got dribbled in PF, they came offering political parties. Standard this, we have this party. Standard this party. There was like 6 political parties. The UPND came and said, you join us. I said, no, I can't join.
In what capacity did the UPND want you?
Here's a good one. Do you really want to know?
I want to know.
Okay, so...
We've got to know.
That was 2016. HH himself, they said, I think it's important you understand now maybe why me and HH now... declared water and oil, salt and sweet. So when that happened, I formed the DF. President, that is then, the PF were in charge then, and Edgar Lungu said, oh, this young man, under his DF will give us a run for our money. And don't forget, when elections happened in 2015, President Edgar Lungu won by 13,000 votes. Okay, so had I stood, had they not deregistered DF in 2016, I would have had votes. So when I formed DF, HH called me and his people that we form an alliance. Okay, an alliance. And the alliance is that you are in partnership. The same way he's doing with MMD and Dr. Nevas Mumba, yeah? And then I said, no, but my people want me to stand as president. He said, no, let's unite. I will make you a running mate. A running mate, you understand? A running mate.
Yeah.
In 2016 election. Come and sit here, come home, I have something to share with you. We went in his private office at their community house in the middle of the night, and he came, Mouse, young man, I am very happy with you. You have support, but instead of us fighting, let's unite. I've decided that you'll be my running mate, and so you need to start preparing what is needed, your grade 12 results, tax clearance, property, this and that, the same things I have, and keep it to yourself. Just get your lawyer. I said, oh, my sister is my lawyer, and don't tell everybody. Just keep it to yourself. You are my running mate. So I went and told my sister and did the paperwork that I'm the running mate, and in a month it will be time for nomination. And I kept it secret, and my people, we had a lot of support. No, you need to go around campaign, but and they were telling me, don't partner with HH, you are losing your value. People don't want him. That is 2016. But I said, we might as well unite. I'm a running mate. You know what? Kalenga, Elson, 2-3 days before the nomination, HH stopped answering my phone.
He blocked you as well.
No, it was ringing, but he stopped picking. I said, this man, I'm a running mate, but he's not picking. Before he pick one ring, nothing. So I told other emissaries who were key in brokering. Some of them were ministers now, but I can't mention them. But he's not picking. They say, I called him, but he said, just be calm, because those people are fighting him to have picked you. He doesn't want them to know. He said, you just come to the nomination day with your documents. I said, okay. Bwana me, on the nomination day filing in, now at Mulungush, I went with my kafao, with my documents for filing in as his running mate. Then the ECZ, Irene Mambilima then called, Mr. Akande Chirema of UPND, so he went in front. Can you call your running mate so that you file in as presidential candidate together? Then he looked at us, so me, he's going to call me, I'm the one. So I said, my running mate is, I even started walking forward.
No.
Then you said, GBM. Then I had to walk back with my car file. Councillor GBM was the running mate. That's how I picked GBM. No, later on I discovered, there were many of us with my files there.
Fam.
Dr. What's his name? Dr. Kenisha's banda also had been duped that to be running mate. He also had the file of documents. Madam Maureen Mwanawasa, may her soul rest in peace. She's also been duped to be running mate. She also had the file. So it's not only me who did the forward step. They also did.
So how did he then narrow it down to GBM? What was the criteria used to settle for GBM?
GBM is my brother, whom I love dearly. Sata told me to always respect him. They were cousins and friends, and he's incarcerated now, and I'm hurt about that. You see me wearing his face. I think he's politically incarcerated, and he should be allowed to see a doctor, and he should be given bail as far as I can see on medical grounds. I don't know what criteria HH used, but that was his choice. Running mate is a choice of the presidential candidate. Even now, I can see the people is duping the same way. Wamdala Wanevas Mumba Naona Babe, you are my running mate. That's why you see him endorsing HH every day. He's endorsing. He has a press conference.
He's got a file as well.
He's already done his to my photocopy of to my grade 12s. But he's waiting for that day. But no, he'll be dribbled similar way. And he's not the only one. Many
Yeah, but I mean, you have to understand the position that a man like Mr. Kainde Hichilema is in. You need to pick a running mate / vice president who you believe can take a bullet for you. So I'm sure in assessing, you of course have to come up with a few names that you're going to assess and come up with a
So
plan.
why did he tell me if I didn't have those qualities? He
He could have told you before the nomination day,
he told
right?
me you have youth following, you are intelligent, you are on social media, and it's a social media world. He told me why he was choosing me. So why did he lie to me? So he should not have told me.
So again,
So he's a liar.
so I was trying to drive to a point here.
Awesome. That's good, yeah.
Oh, thanks. I love.
Oh, by the way, for those watching and wondering where we are, we're at Urban Masai.
Urban Masai, yeah, along
Greatest
Road.
Road, in between Arcades and Manda Hill. I think right in between, opposite the showgrounds.
Fred
is
tells
Urban
me.
Masai.
Fred tells me you're always here.
Yes, I come here often.
Okay.
Once a while, but because it's close to Parliament. So when I'm running late, Parliament is like school. Huh? When you go late, you are noticed. You have to register present on time.
Oh, yeah.
And the registration is electronic. So wherever each one sits, there's a gadget there. Only you have a passcode. So when you sit there, you put in a passcode.
So they know what time you came in.
Yeah. So if you're not there to show you didn't come in, so we have to be on time and leave on time.
Yeah.
So when I'm running late and lunch, so I come here or the Chinese restaurant next because I know it's.
So yeah, feel free. Dig in.
Thank you,
dig in.
thank you.
The point that I was trying to make is: did Sata ever put you in cabinet?
No.
So there's a reason why I'm asking you that.
I
And there's a
know
reason-
where you're heading. I
reason-
know where you're heading. I'm
Yes.
glad you're asking.
Yeah, and obviously, even with me asking you when the DFO was formed, there is a point that I'm trying to make that Sam could make a point that he did not trust you by giving you a cabinet position, and yet here you were fighting to become president of the PF when he, Sata himself, could not trust you with that position.
Right. There's so much that narrative that gets said around Sata, especially around his death. That's
Yeah.
not the truth. Sata did not appoint me in his cabinet because Sata believed, and now I believe he was right. He believed the youngsters first needed to learn the ropes before he throws you in the deep end of the cabinet. So there were young people when we won in 2011. I was one of them. Even just going to election, he didn't allow his son, Mulenga Sata, who is older than me by 2 years. You are 70, Mulenga Sata is 68. But when he wanted to be MP, I wanted to be MP, he allowed me to be MP. He sent him to the council. And in his own wisdom, and when we won, the youngsters were like Kampiongo, Davis Mwila, even Ed Galungui himself. The first cabinet were all made deputy ministers to learn. He brought the old folks like Bachikwanda, his peers, Bakasonde, most of them are late, to teach us. He himself said, first you need to learn. Do you know what? And I was very upset because before Sata became president, he was an old man and I was young, but through the campaign and the interaction we had, he became like a friend.
Yeah.
He was my uncle, but because we'd go campaigning in rural areas for years, for months. I've just come back with my team. We drive in one car. There's 3 security, 1 helper, and the driver. And they'll tell you, we drive like the whole night, wake up in Sampa, we sleep in dingy lodges, we eat whatever is there, we sneak out, we wake up in Kasama, we do what we have to do, wake up in Nakonde, Mpika. Before everyone realizes, this morning we're in Lusaka. We only got back in Lusaka like 2 a.m. But with that, it bonds you. So that's what I was doing with Sata. I would go out in the campaigns for like a month in the bush, and he's sleeping in this room and in this next room, a young nephew, but then later on we just like buddies and could tell each other things. We were friends. And would even, once I even told a joke, I'd tell a joke when in the bush and he would laugh and would laugh. You know these jokes. A joke like on condoms, that
Right.
is. Yeah?
On condoms.
Yeah.
Did you look at me because you know that I've got a condom company?
Oh, no, you do?
Yes.
So good, well and good. I wish well that thing, that company. My point is making that I became that close to Sata that I could tell him personal things and we would laugh, okay? Because of being in the dungeon together. Now, here's the thing. We got home, I visited him home one day, and his son, Mulenga, was seated there, and I passed the same joke on condoms. I saw the man is not laughing. And he looks somewhere else, and Mulenga looks somewhere else, and me, I'm laughing alone. And I said, okay. Different environment.
Right.
So, but then my point I was making, when he won, I thought it would continue. You know, he became a president, and they say in Bemba, infumisheta menshi, you know, a president or a chief, they say they chew water. In Bemba, it's the saying, they chew water, meaning they do things that you cannot understand. So in his own wisdom, he said, you are a young man, learn the ropes. And I'm happy. So he put me as deputy minister to learn. He made me minister of Lusaka province. From here, he sent me to minister of Southern province because I grew up there. My sister was married there, and I spent my life there as a teenager, secondary school. You'll be surprised that the insults I know are in Tonga, not in Bemba. The language, street language I know is a Tonga street language because that's where I spent my secondary school. So he said, oh, go there and be provincial minister. I was there a few months. I enjoyed my time there. I'm the one who moved the provincial headquarters from Livingstone to Choma because it was central. And that's where it is still now. And I'm happy I did that. So to leave Livingstone to do its own tourism and not log it with administrative works of the province. Then he brought me to Lusaka as deputy finance minister under Alexander Chikwanda, an old folk at the time, a colleague of his. So I was learning the job. From there, he made me deputy minister of commerce under Emmanuel Chenda, later on under Honorable Sichinga, Bob Sichinga. But then, where I sit now, at the time I was upset. This man, we were colleagues in the fight to win PF, and I helped out. Many people help. And he's making me deputy minister, and he says, no, I must learn the job of finance. I must learn the job. But I was the director of Finance Bank. I was the manager at Barclays Bank, which is Absa. But you know where I sit now, Kalenga Nelson. I thank him. Had he made me a minister, I would have been in Mukobeko prison today.
Oh, you'd have stolen?
I would have been tempted to do things illegally, thinking it's the norm. Just like these one-term ministers are doing, most of them.
Oh, Jesus, no, we're not going there. Why are we going there? So again, a follow-up
because I can
that.
see them, they are doing corruption, brandedly. Corruption. And even them, they will end up in prison. But me, Sata saved me by not making me a minister.
Or maybe he did not think that you were good enough to be one.
No. Then he wouldn't have trusted me. You know, I was a signatory to the PF account, bank account. Sampa was one of the signatories. Before PF could pay.
That has got nothing to do with leadership, though.
It's not good.
But it's got nothing to do with trust, also.
Trust. The other signatory was Guy Scott and me. When Sata was in campaigns, that's how much he trusted me.
Yeah, but you can trust your wife with your money. Can you trust your wife to fly a plane? No. So those are two different things. Leadership.
He mentioned earlier why Sata said he did not make him a minister. He wanted him to grow and rise through the ranks.
But now that is his opinion. It also could be.
No, he was told.
He told me. And then here is important. If you didn't trust me, listen to this. In the campaigns, campaigns, the presidents get given money by many people. Sata trusted me so much, he would send me to go and see so and so and collect cash as much as $200,000 cash. Don't tell me who. I'll never mention until I die.
Well, who would send you to collect money?
Sata.
To collect $200,000.
From who?
Just only one of the many money that
was this money text?
You should ask him in his grave.
No, you are the one picking up the money.
I was just a messenger.
Because this sounds like Cyril Ramaphosa with money in his couch.
Don't shoot the messenger now.
Sata was not a president. He was opposition. When you're opposition, you get donation.
All right.
He was not in ruling when he was in opposition.
Right.
No, in ruling, I never collected any money. He didn't need the money at that time.
Okay.
I know him when he even had money, he would just give cadres. The cadres would tell you, would go in his office. But president need work kanyama ni influencer la shikwete obunga. You know what? You'd open his drawer, take out a wad of cash, a bunch. Guess how much that would be? $10,000 and give a cadre from Kanyama
to buy meal.
That's how much he didn't value money. But the point I was making, in opposition, you would send me, oh, so and so has offered money for the campaign. Go and collect this money. I would go, it's a trunk of cash. That's what happens. People donate. I'm trying to put a point that he trusted me, and I would take all of it to him. And,
right.
And he would not even give me one ungwe because I was a trusted messenger.
So unless I'm getting my dates mixed up, why then would you form a party to be in opposition to PF if you guys were as good as you were?
That's the narrative of my opposition. Like many narratives they give up to date. When they have nothing to attack me because I'm not corrupt, I've never stolen or whatever, so they find and build something. There was no party I formed before Sata died. There was no reason to form a party. Why? He was my uncle. He was the president, and everything was going well. He was he's a man I could walk. You know, I used to work in his office. I would just open the door and enter as the president. He would say, "Mouse, even a child." He had this phrase: "Even a child." When a man, an old man is in the toilet, even a child, when a child is in a toilet, you as an old man, you will knock, you not just open the door. Who tells you can just walk in my office like that? Get out, go and knock. So I'd go and knock and then come in. Mr. Mouse, what can I do for you? We are that close.
That kind of relationship.
I was very comfortable with him as a president. So everything was okay. There was no reason to form a party. What for? I was young. So that party, DF, that's the narrative of those who were fighting me then, to say I created it when Sata was alive. No, when Sata died and I was dribbled for PF presidents, like now, every leadership you get dribbled. It's normal in Zambia. HH has coined me Ngalato. Other people brought their parties to say, there's this party, we want you to stand on this. DF was one of them that was brought. I didn't even know. Now you're telling me it was formed
in 2011.
So by those people that formed it, they brought it. And there was another party, UDF, United Democratic Front, Wakachingwa and others brought, Sampa, we want you to stand on this. And others brought many parties. And that's what it was. So no, I didn't form any party. I've never formed any party. I just get called to lead a party.
Right. There's a school of thought where some people feel that you used his passing to gain sympathy for your political.
Unless you are saying President Edgar Lungu did that, unless you are saying Chishimba Kambwili did that.
I'm speaking about you.
I am, and I'm speaking about people who applied to stand as president. Charlie Opena, Bakateka we loved, died. There was a vacancy. The PF constitution says when the president dies, extraordinary election should be held to find a successor. When a PF president resigns, like President Lungu did in 2021, it's an opener. Everyone is supposed to apply. So we applied when he died. Many people applied. GBM applied. Shimba Kambwida applied, Given Lubinda applied, Edgar Lungu applied, Bob Schinga applied, Wilbur Musa applied, some other man applied. Later on, Mulenga Sata, I think, applied, and apparently Banakaseva, I came to learn on the actual day, also applied. Why do they just pick on me that I took advantage of his death? That means everyone who applied was taking advantage. I was just one of the candidates, and I was told by supporters, the youths of the PF, the structures at the time, they said, we think you, Tawakwata, lepros, Tawakwata, shorthand, when you have money, you help us. Which is one of my traits. When I have money, they will tell you the people I work with, I share. But they say the other politicians, they call them
dinosaur hands.
They can't reach their pockets. So they said you have a heart for the people. I eat with the people what they eat. That's why I can't taste, because this food is for the rich people.
Come on.
So anyway, no, because I'm watching my weight, but it's a very attractive food.
Thanks to Urban
Everyone
Masai.
should come to Masai. It's enjoyable food. No, I didn't take advantage of Sata's death. I just was one of the candidates that had support at the time and still have huge support now countrywide.
But Sampa, before we end up sounding a little too political, like it's an NBC interview and it's not on a podcast, maybe we just get a few questions from the people
I was
watching
about to
right
say the
now.
same thing, yeah.
And one question that keeps popping up is about Ruth Bandu. And just to give context to those who've not followed the case of Ruth Bandu, Ruth Bandu was at the time of her death, a 19-year-old student at NIPA, which is the National Institute for Public Administration. And she was killed on 13th July in 2012. A lethal drug was allegedly administered on her before she was raped. Her eyes, forgive me for the gruesome descriptions here, but her eyes were poked out and her facial skin was peeled off. Her killing sent cold chills in the spines of many, and to this day, many people remain shocked at this macabre killing of an innocent soul. On 20th July 2012, police exhumed the remains of Ruth Bandu as part of their ongoing investigations into her grisly murder case, following rumors that her murder was a cover-up of a pregnancy she was carrying. Now, in this case, your name kept popping up. Are you able to just put the lid on this, why your name keeps popping up, and just give us more context when it comes to this case?
Thank you, Kalenga. Thank you for asking this question. Thank you for asking this question, Kalenga. This is a question that pops up each time there's an election that Mao Sampa wants to be a candidate. Whenever I want to stand, even within the PF, there are primary elections. To stand as mayor, the name pops up, this accusation pops up. 2021, when I want to stand as MP for Matero, within the primaries, this question comes up. Even as mayor now, when we go to the actual election, they come up. I'm actually used to them. Even now, they see Mao Sampa is standing, likely to stand, because that is not final. I'm consulting with the stakeholders of the party. I'm the president of the PF. I'm the secretary general of the PF now. Ideally, automatically, I'm the candidate for president for 2026 against HH under PF. But I've said, and I keep saying, it's not final that I will be until I finish consulting with stakeholders of the party, which is what I'm doing. And I was in Muchinga province. I did all the districts, Nakonde, Isoka, Chinsali, Mpika, Shiwangandu, Kanchibia, and others. And I'll be going to other provinces, the grassroots, speak to them. And also the key stakeholder of our party, PF, like I've said, is President Edgar Lungu. Like I said earlier on, he's a former president of the Party Republican. Sata is gone, so he's the Sata of the PF. Take it or leave it, love him or hate him. He's the father of the PF. So I'm yet to consult with him and see the way forward on who should be the candidate, whether myself or somebody else. But because of that, the rivals, both within and after, they bring up that accusation. It's very absurd. I don't know anything. The only thing I know is when that happened, I was a member of parliament. That's the only thing I know. I don't know anything.
Were you ever linked to her?
I don't know the person.
Never met her?
First of all, even to answer this is very heartless to make accusation because they have a family and they lost somebody. And when you make accusation, you should be very clear. But I'm left with not just but respond. I did not know the person, never met the person, never spoke to the person on the phone or internet. There was no internet at the time, or through a letter. Never knew where she stayed, never knew what she did. I knew nothing about the person. And to date, I don't know anything about the person. Don't know her friends, don't know her family. All I know is I was the area MP of where that offense happened. I don't even know which part of material that was. And I think, so when I heard that, it touched me like it touched everybody. And all I did was say, hey, this is gruesome. Can whoever has information on who's done that, and you tell the police, I'll offer my money at the time, I think 15,000, to whoever leads to the police. So the UPND, they are very good at propaganda. They tend that, why is he concerned to find the killer? He's the one who did it, then he's hiding himself. It's the UPND who started it then. And then it comes up. So let's assume it was true. Sata died. First, Sata was a no-nonsense. When you commit any crime or you are suspected, you tell the police to arrest you. His son, when Mulenga Sata was called out on a corruption activity, whatever that was, alleged, the police, the SCC called him, interrogated him and cleared him. So when his own nephew, one of the nephew, I won't even mention his name, was called out for drug trafficking, he told the DEC, Drug Enforcement, arrested one of his nephews and was in prison on cells. So Sata, any offense, whether son, nephew, would have arrested that person. He loved people. Edgar Lungu came in as president. I rebelled against Edgar Lungu at the time, as I explained. I formed my own party. We are that party that wanted to flout me.
Right.
Or I went in an alliance with HH where he duped me that I'll be the running mate and dribbled me last day.
You are still hurt, aren't you?
Left with the kafal.
But be honest,
I'm not
still
hurt.
aren't you?
I'm not hurt. We look at history to learn on the present. You did history in grade 8.
Now, I know where you're going with
the
this.
purpose of history is
to learn the present and the future.
So where we are now, why I can't trust a judge, why I'm not surprised that he's duped all Zambians on fake promises.
Okay.
So I'm still answering that.
Sure, go
So
ahead.
I was fighting Edgar Lungu was president, and Kampyongo at the time was a lethal Home Affairs Minister.
Yeah.
The system has got the intelligence, the police, and the Zambian police are one of the well-trained police. Sometimes when you lose a car is stolen, they're able even to know who stole it.
Based off how it was stolen.
Yes, because they have all the database. They are that professional. Even a murder, wherever it happens, they're able to pick one or two, and they're able to know the kingpin. So Kampyongo, as Home Affairs Minister, Davis Mwila at the time who hated me so much and registered my political party. He had all the information on all crime in Zambia. Surely they would not have arrested me for if that was an offense that I was involved in. And I was whining and dining with HH, who they didn't want at the time. It's me and GBM and Bakachingwe and Chimbakambwidi that went to sell HH in Northern Province, in Muchinga Province. He gave me an helicopter in HH in 2016 campaigns. Sometimes I would sit here in one helicopter, here, HH, here. At the end there, Chakawa, the guy who carries his food, and Maheo, and the three of us in the plane, helicopter, going to Luapula, Northern Chinga, would campaign the whole day. And when we were hungry, Chikawa would remove, Maheo would drink. So we are that bonded. I was part of campaigning for HH in Muchinga, Northern Province in 2016. So we introduced him there at the time. So if there was a crime I committed, surely the Edgar Chagwalungu government with Kampyongo as a Home Affairs Minister would have arrested me because I was the arch rival. Then change the coin. HH comes in as president, 2021. It's now 5 years since he became president. I'm opposition. Surely if there was a crime, they would have arrested me all this time. So point is, I don't know anything about that issue. I don't know the person, never knew the person, no nothing. So it's just political. It's the same thing even HH, I said last time, they used to accuse him that is a Shonongo. You know Shonongo? That is, what's the Shonongo, by the way? Shonongo is...
Guys, what's the Shonongo there? Devil, huh?
A devil, which someone who practices witchcraft.
Yo.
Yeah, so they use that a lot, even did songs against him in the campaigns. But it's political. But me, I know he's not. I interacted with him. They lie so much about him. They will even lie things in politics. They'll probably even lie. They will now, if they get tired of lying about me and Ruth Bandu, may her soul rest in peace. And it's so disheartening. They torture the family. They lost their person. That was a ritual killing. And I think it was just the beginning of those ritual killings. Then there were so many in Matero. There were so many in Kanyama. In Nakonde, where you are there were a lot of ritual killing. In Luapura province, in Kanyama, elsewhere. And we all up to now don't understand what those ritual killings.
Have you met the family since?
I don't know them. Why should I meet them?
No, but you're a resourceful person. You can look for them to reach out.
For what?
Because your name keeps being linked to her.
No. Even them, if they have evidence,
No, I'm not saying that they have
they
good
can go
evidence.
to the police.
No, just to put some things to rest.
Right.
No, but it's not for me to put to rest. It's those who bring up those things. The time the funeral happened, I think I went to the funeral and helped however I can. Like I go to any funeral in Matera.
But then if you but you've just contradicted yourself. You said you never met her, you don't know her, you've never met the family, but you've just said you went to the funeral.
I listen. That time it happened as area MP, I think it's 2011. I was just MP for like 4 months. So there was this funeral. I was called by the media. There's this gruesome murder. Then I went loud on the media. And now I think I popped up in Emersdale and spent a few hours there. It's mandatory or etiquette from any MP when you have a funeral. It's just in Matero, there's funerals every day, like 50 funerals. So you can't go to all of them. But that particular one, I think I took interest and even advertised on my Facebook. Whoever has knowledge of who's done this or has information, give the police. And I even had the other people, I pledged 15,000 kwacha at the time. Other people said, this is so bad. We also had 10. I think the bound went up
just
to 50.
just to stick to the point. So yes, you did meet the family.
I don't remember. I went to the funeral. I didn't meet the family. I don't know them. I go to the funerals now. I was at the funeral last week of a burial of a person I don't know. I just heard the circumstances that this young man, a youth, I said life was too much, got drunk and put doom in his cachaso and died. So when I heard that story, we went to the burial. It was posted on my Facebook last week. And I was even busy burying the grave and addressed the mother, and the funeral, gave a speech. But I don't know the person, I don't know where they stay. So I go to all those funerals. I'm the area MP. So that particular one, I went to the funeral house, mourned for a few minutes and left. That's it. I didn't even go to the burial. I've never met the family, and I put money together to help the family to find.
And you didn't hand this money over to the family personally?
No, because it was meant to be handed to the police by 15,000 at the time. Now, this propaganda took over, and they didn't find. I gave a condition when they find the culprit. And the police, I said, when you find who did this thing, mastermind, come to me. This money I'll give you. They never came. They found one chap, and then the case didn't go anywhere.
Still a court case.
Yeah, if he's found guilty, I'll give that man. So the UPND, turned that and said, is he giving a bond to cover himself up? Or he made her pregnant. Apparently, I'm the one who just makes everybody pregnant.
Was she pregnant?
I don't know. How am I supposed to know who's pregnant in Matero? I don't know.
So going back to the comments, going back to the comments, we have got Tisa Chitambo, who says Mr. Sampa is actually smarter than I thought, but why do politics, they make him get perceived in a certain type of way?
Hold on. Just to conclude on this, the pregnancies. You've got 4 baby mamas from what I hear. Is it 4 children or 4 baby mamas outside marriage?
No, that's a good question, and I wish my wife would listen.
But she's on a flight right now.
She's on a flight. It's 2 weeks ago.
You were accused of another pregnancy.
And it's even worse. Now, I like that question. That what are you doing in politics? Can do better being a journalist, being a profession, being Elon Musk, or to make money. The latest accusation 3 weeks ago was I made a married woman, a colored woman, a Rafiki, somebody like Rafiki, his wife. I made that Rafiki's wife pregnant, and she's colored. I don't know anybody called Rafik.
You like light-skinned girls, though, don't you?
Sorry?
You like light-skinned women, though.
No. I like and love my wife. That's all.
Is she light-skinned?
She's Zambian. Skin has nothing to do with it. She's a human being. We clicked and we love each other. That's all. I love anybody. Color has nothing to do with it.
You love anybody. That's the point that we're making.
I love my wife. That's why I married her.
In a stadium, for that matter.
I filled the stadium with my wedding in 2020 when I was mayor, and people were going to come from all provinces. At the time, the Minister of Health was jealous, said, no, there's COVID, you only allowed 100 people. That's how jealous. People didn't enter. That's why when I saw per weekend by UPND and HH failed to fill it up. Me, I was going to fill it up.
But with the wedding.
And just a simple mayor. What more as a presidential candidate?
Oh, crap. Speaking of being mayor.
Don't go there.
No, sorry, once again, if you're seeing the name Central Global Uplink on the screen, they are the suppliers of the internet we're using today for this live stream. You spoke of having internet everywhere in Lusaka. What happened to that issue?
I know. It's a Wi-Fi story. First of all,
you promised us youths something.
You've reminded me that we're using Starlink.
We're using Starlink for
I think
this
that's
live
why
stream,
we are easily accessible, and,
yes.
and there's clarity of the picture, and it's not cutting. So thank you, Starlink, and the people who are partnering with Starlink and selling the gadgets. And earlier on, I was told, at home I have my little kids. As soon as I get home, my 2-year-old Rochelle, and the other one is 1 year, so they behave like they're twins when they're not. They all fight for my phone. This one wants a phone, and they want to fight. And they go straight to TikTok, of all places. A 1-year-old.
My daughters have started the same.
Yeah. And then I run out of bundles, and they start crying, and you know. So I want to say, Starlink, I want to order here a package for Starlink. How much is it?
Does he? The PF president is asking how much Starlink is. He wants to buy right now. Okay, so here's it.
So our Gen 3 is 13,000 kwacha only.
Okay, good.
Yes,
so I'm ordering one. How long will it take you before you can install it?
So we'll be installing first thing in the morning tomorrow.
No, exact time.
So we'll be at your place by... Where's your place?
No,
security reasons.
For security reasons, we'll give you a place. It's within Lusaka.
It's within Lusaka.
No, actually, it's where are we? We are in Kafue district.
Yeah. Kafue district. Okay, so I'll say then we'll be there by 11. Is that okay?
11.
Yeah.
Zambian time or England time?
British time.
British time.
Yes.
On the dot. So 13,000 supply. And when you come, before you leave home, we'll pay you.
All right, sure.
I wanted to have it at our house and encourage everyone. The connectivity is important.
Sure.
Buy Starlink,
yes,
and wherever you can find it. No, that's the challenges we had with Wi-Fi. As a mayor,
You failed to give Lusaka residents Wi-Fi as promised when you were mayor of Lusaka.
If it pleases you, just like I get accused, no, you've killed PF, as if I'm the one who caused PF to lose in 2021. I won in Matero. We lost in 2021. The reasons cannot be put on one person. All of us, we should take collective responsibility that we lost the presidency. But now everyone says, I don't want PF to have the problem. No. The fact that we allowed ourselves to lose to HH, that's where the problem started.
You had too many cadres as PF, too many cadres running the country.
That's the thing. Agreed. And as mayor, I used to say that I was ignored. As mayor, I would walk in a city market, intercity bus station to check out those cadres. They would fight me. And that's why they fought me left, right, and center. And they used to go to President Lung. Letu Tamfia is becoming popular. That's when we did the Boba TV. But President Alefa Kamichite challenge, convention, Akeminem 2021. And President listen to liar. It's the lies. It's the same things that have happened to Gary Nkombo. Gary Nkombo was the best minister. He would reach out to the young, the opposition. He wanted the job done, cleaning up also cadres, because cadres haven't stopped. They've actually gotten worse under the UPND. They even carry guns. So, but Gary was very strict. Then I was telling people, this man is doing his job like I was doing as mayor, but it's going to cost him.
What have you heard about his firing, though?
It's simple. It's insecurity from HH. All presidents have come to realize can be very insecure. When they get in State House there, they just fear the unknown. Even your own friend, even people that helped you. HH was helped by Gary. We saw on the election day, or counting of votes in 2021, how he fought at Mulungushi with the ECZ. If at all rigging happens, and the PF wanted to rig, I don't know anything, but Gary is the one that can be credited to have stopped it. The videos are there. He died a little for HH to win. And he was campaigning in parliament. He would stand there and say, HH is good, he's doing this, every platform.
Even election night, we remember he was the most vocal person in the
but you know what, like most presidents,
yeah.
Even in 2021, President Lungu is my brother now. In 2021, I was very sellable as mayor. I was loved, and naturally I'm a good person when you get to know me. So I fell in love with the people of Lusaka. They also fell in love with me as the mayor. I could have stood in any constituency of Lusaka, Kanyama, Munali, Chawama, Lusaka Central, Kabwata, Mandevu, Matero. I would have won. That was a known fact. But they were going to President Lungu. I'm a popular Arefaka Mistake Challenge. And he bought into it. It's the same with Gary. Presidents tend to listen to lies when lies are repeated, and they end up making a mistake. Can you imagine if President Lungu had put me a running mate when at my peak? I would have given him the entire Lusaka. I would have given him the youths. I would have given him people on social media. We would not have lost as far as I'm concerned. But it's the choice of a particular president of the day. Can you imagine if President HH had put me a running mate in 2016?
Would you have won against the might of the PF then, though?
I think we would. I would have brought the youths to him.
We digress.
Has there been-
Wi-Fi in Lusaka.
No, yeah,
So Wi-Fi
okay.
here is a good point. So as mayor, you don't have powers. You know, it's an executive mayor. That means you are ceremonial. You can't even sign a check. You can't employ anyone. You can't sign a contract. So Wi-Fi, I found people to do it. The Chinese under Huawei, they even said they will do it for free. Put it in all the markets, but they'll put billboards and then they'll put advertising. They're going to make money from there. But then before you implement anything at the council, you need signature from the Minister of Local Government. In this case, it was Charles Banda. The guy just hated me. He just didn't want. He's the guy when I stopped the Chinese quarantine Zambians under COVID. They would keep them in their plants for a month, not going to see their wives, because if you go home, you come back with COVID. So we make them work in the day. In the night, they would sleep in the plant. So I went to open up those plants and say, let them go and see their families. But Charles Banda came to me, and Malanji, my brother, sat me down. Hey, you are mad. Why are you doing this? Go and apologize to the Chinese. Joseph Malanji was the foreign affairs minister. The Chinese are giving us business. Blah, blah, blah. They ordered me to apologize, and I was there. I apologized to the Chinese. But I had the choice to resign or apologize. But I played teamwork. So the Wi-Fi was not signed off by the minister, so I couldn't implement it. But when I become president, to be me to sign everything, so that's not a word.
So I have a question again, because I'm seeing a trend here where you said HH strung you along. He said you'd be the running mate, and then he didn't. And Sata also gave you time to learn, but never really gave you that responsibility. Has there been anybody in power who has trusted you to put you in the position to lead?
You know what? It has happened outside.
Outside.
Yeah, you know, like Jesus, it takes a while for your own people to appreciate you.
So answer is no.
First of all, Sata did not die. in his next cabinet, after winning in 2016, he was going to win, I would have been a minister. Okay? Edgar Lungu, we know, because I challenged him, obviously he had to tread carefully. It was a tight race to take over. But we are brothers. Who else? I don't need anyone to trust me. Finance Bank, I was Executive Director of Trade, Treasury and International Banking. Rajan Matani, the owner of Finance Bank. Yes, he's the one man that trusted me and gave me a huge position, Executive Director of a bank. That's senior, very senior. I was the one in charge of the foreign exchange. Each day I wake up, I go to the bank. The first thing I would say, our bank is buying rate for Forex is this, selling is this. It's me who decided. The bank, I would invest the bank's money in the treasury and abroad, set the interest rates, and I would make huge profit for the bank. I entrusted me. I was one step from being the CEO of Finance Bank, which had branches across the country, which is now Access Bank. So thank you, Mr. Rajan Matani, for trusting me, because you believe in perfection, you believe in hard working, because you believe in skills, enhancing people. Unfortunately, in politics, when they see good qualities, their instinct is to try to trash you. But if you are from Matero, they fail to do it. The more they step on you, you know Mankolowe.
What's that?
It's a seed, the wild seeds. When you're walking, the grass seeds. When you walk, it touches your.
Oh yeah.
And then when you're walking, it's dropping. So even if you slash that grass plant, the seeds have already walked distance. So the more they try to step me down, the more I grow. The UPND now are in the mode to stop me and break me, but the more they do that, they don't know that the more they are spreading my seeds and selling me without them knowing. It's been done before, and that's the way it happens.
So you're saying your standing in 2026 is very dependent on the party, but what would, from your heart,
Not
what do you
the
really
party.
want, the presidency or the parliamentary seat?
It's actually not dependent on the party. Now where we are is dependent on Edgar Lungu. I'm waiting for signal. And when he comes back, we'll have a chat.
When he comes back?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Wait.
He's in South Africa.
Why is it dependent on him again?
I said he's the father of the party. I'm giving him
Okay.
respect. I don't have to, but the grassroots says no, liaise with your brother, and I'm giving him respect, and that's all. But if I wanted, it's like football, like Mbappe. You just kulika, you just go and score. But you look aside, you see these players, then you give them a pass. You know,
So
how
if he
strikers.
doesn't give you the blessings?
You go back to Matero.
No. But I'm the president of the party. I'm the secretary general.
No, I'm saying if he doesn't give you the blessing.
Then what's next?
If he decides that we give you as president, for instance, he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you Kalenga.
Yes.
He can do that. Edgar Lungu, for some reason, he says. And I agree. Then you become the
Again,
So
candidate.
do you then
you're
go
not
back to
answering the
Matero?
question, Mr. Sampa. If he doesn't give you the blessing that you want to seek from him, what's next?
Oh, we'll compromise.
How?
But I'm not. Whatever happens, we'll compromise.
What's the compromise look like to you?
Oh, let's assume he says it's not me.
Yes.
And also running mate, he says it's not me.
Yes.
And then I also agree. I have options. Either to stay out.
And just remain
Like in
Matero.
2016, I didn't stand for anything. I stayed out. And then in Matero, they had an MP. They started calling me, we miss you, come back. That's why in 2021, everybody in Lusaka lost. The steam was with UPND. Kanyama MP, a former minister, lost. Kabwata MP for PF lost. Lusaka Central, former finance minister, my sister Margaret
This man is a
Monekate,
true
lost.
politician, eh?
Munali, whoever stood there, a former MP, lost. Ile kumatero nali wina.
Vasampa, Elson has asked you a very simple question.
Very
Elson,
simple question, yeah. Again, if he doesn't give you the blessing that you seek,
what does compromise look like?
Does compromise? Because you said we'll compromise.
Okay,
What does that look like?
Okay, so if he doesn't allow me, or say you can be president,
Yes.
I want person X for whatever reason to be president.
Yeah.
My condition to my brother will be, I have to be convinced that that person will make us win, yeah? Because all the trials and tribulation him and his family are going through is because we lost. And all of us, some people are even dying of our family called PF because, opposition is tough. So we want the PF to win.
What does compromise look like?
So that candidate that you guide, other than me, I also need to be convinced will make the PF win.
And if you aren't convinced?
I'll give in, okay? Because I've said I'm respecting him. It means then I either will stand as MP of Matero. I can even stand anywhere, by the way, in Lusaka.
Yeah.
And at this rate, even in the Copper Belt. At this rate, even in Southern Province, I can stand as MP for Kalomo and win.
Yeah, in Matero, you'll be up against Trevor Mumba. But then again, Mr. Sampa, if his opinion...
I don't know him. And,
you will soon, a bald-head guy.
And I welcome him or anybody in Matero. I won last time in UTH. I got stabbed on the election day.
On election day, we'll come to that. I've got that on my list here.
And I went, by the time I was being woken up in the UTH theater, now winner. And they carried me with a bandage to declare me. So I won in hospital. So me and Matero are like this. I'm very confident to face even HH if he wants. He can stand in Matero. I'm confident to beat him there.
I want to keep coming back to the issue that you've made about seeking Edgar Lungu's blessing for you to stand. If his opinion,
let's assume he says no.
Yes, no. If his opinion means that much to you, why then did you take the step that you did to take the reins of the party?
Good question. I love that question. And thank you for giving me also this opportunity to answer this question, because it clarifies the misnomer and narrative. When I took over the party, in my informed opinion, President Edgar Lungu had resigned and retired. And I saw a letter he wrote to cabinet that he resigned as PF president and indeed from active politics. So I took it on that stride. It was open. That's why it was advertised, and the 10 of us applied, and I paid 200,000 kwacha, all of us. And I know politics, others were paying by bank account.
Where did you get the money?
I took the cash. First of all, I told you I work for bank. I'm not a poor man.
No, we just want to know. You're a politician, right? So we need your assets declared, the full disclosure. So that was your personal funds?
Personal funds.
Okay.
I had the funds. I didn't join politics poor. I remember I told you I was a bank director. Anything I own now was acquired when I was a bank director from the professional world. A house I had then is still the one I have. And if I have another one, that means I sold this one and bought this one. There's a trail. The cars I had, there's nothing I gained from politics. If anything, I use my personal money, and I'm glad. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be talking to be a president. I would have been jailed because I would have abused public funds. So I'm answering your question. So that's how we went there. Now, those people were told to manage the election for PF by President Lungu. I don't want to mention anyone's name. Instead of calling for the election, they kept postponing them from 1 month to the next. The PF constitution says, when there's a vacancy, president dies or resigns, you should hold immediate extraordinary conference. When Sata died, elections were, as soon as he was buried, within 2 weeks, we held elections, and Lungu took it. Now, when President Lungu resigned or retired from politics, we should have held elections at least within 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. There shouldn't be a vacuum. But it went on from 1 month to 6 months to 1 year. Those people were caretakers and themselves were just about to declare themselves. And meanwhile, there were 200,000. I said, this is nonsensical. And the party cannot go on with a vacuum. So when I was taking over PF, in my mind, President Edgar Lungu was out of the picture. Now, afterwards, it came in the public that he's come back into politics. Then I said, okay, let's sit down. That's when I went to see him, if you saw those pictures. That's what annoyed the likes of Chabinga and HH sponsored. They started saying, oh, you've gone to see Edgar Lungu. We are taking over the party from you. That's when we've been in court, and I won the court case, essentially, where we are now. So I've never fought President Edgar Lungu when he's been president, even when he retired. He's back. That's why I'm saying I have to consult and talk to him. Had he been around, and I've gone to see him, but he's in South Africa, and I don't want to interfere with. As far as we are told, he's attending to medical attention, so that's priority. We want him to get well, and when he's back, then I'll have a one-on-one. I don't even want to go through anybody, because once everybody around him, when you tell them something, they twist them. They all want to be presidents. Everyone you see talking and saying President Lungu this and that, and endorsing him, yet you know the ruling has said he's not eligible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then you still have people still saying he's still standing. Come on, why should somebody bury their head in the sand? But how, when the Constitutional Court has made him ineligible? So those are the people who are using his name, so that on the last day they say, oh no, he's not standing, but I'm his person, I'm the one standing. No, that's being trickery.
So before you took the reins, or you took your shot at the presidency of the party, did you have a word with him? Did you speak to him?
He was not accessible. When I tried to reach him, the people around him would block me. Many times I attempted.
There's a lot of blocking happening in your life, man.
They do that to anybody who's good. Welcome
you block
to the club.
HH, you get blocked. You blocks you.
But you know Mbappe, when he's playing football with Barcelona,
There's defenders, of course.
Yeah, of course. They're not allowed to hit the ball. They know you're going to score. So you hit the ball, they block you. But you find a way to do a Olilo and...
You're stabbing in 2021. Are you able to tell us more about what happened that day?
Yeah, I'll tell you, but you asked an important question.
Okay,
I'll come to that.
Let's deal with this question.
So, since we lost elections, I would make cause to meet President Galungu, I'd be blocked. But you summarized it well. But I've told you, it's those people who are insecure that will block me. But even when I meet him, the only time I've met him is once in person, those pictures that came. We met from like 8 p.m. until like 1 a.m. We sat like this, chatting, enjoying, drinking mocktails. You know mocktails? Non-alcoholic beverage.
Yes, sir, we know mocktails.
Non-alcoholic beverages. We had a good time like brothers who've not seen each other in a long time.
Brothers mocktails, yeah.
But brothers mocktails.
Yeah.
But when you go through other people, you know, they come, they twist things. So your question, on election day, I just went to check in George compound. You see me on Facebook. I'm always in George because it's close to my heart.
Yeah.
It's a hardcore compound. Yeah, that's where every 1 meter there's a house. Every 1 meter, strictly. There's no house in between. And one room you find is a family of 9. So there's everybody in a small place. So I went there to check the voting at a school. I entered with my people. I wanted to ask if our election agents had their food delivered, because I'd paid that Hungry Lion and got a driver to deliver to each school. So then I was counter-checking if food had been delivered. So when I got there, I walked in and just greeting people and going there. Next I saw at the gate, walking in was this youth chairman of UPND, what's his name? Liswaniso. He was walking in the group and they had long coats. And then I went round and we found them round and we greeted. Next, I just saw one of my bodyguards say, "Boss Tabani, watch you some food." And we all started scampering. And I looked behind, there was this huge guy with a coat, like in the movies, Denzel Washington, those, long jackets. And he was running towards me. Later on, we even got to be told that those were not even Zambian. HH and UPND had brought those people from Angola.
That's a very strong accusation, though.
Once again, the views expressed in this episode are not of those in Kalenga and Elson. Solely
Miles Sampa's words.
We are fearing 25 years in prison. It's not signed yet.
And we will reach out to the UPND so that they also give their side of the story.
The narrative, or what I was told, was that these big thugs they brought in to, remember, one of our own officials in Northwestern got killed. But the ones I saw in Matero, I know every Matero person I see, I've seen them before. These people were attacking me at this polling station on election day. I've never seen them in Matero. And they didn't look Zambians. They were huge big like baboons. And I'm serious. And later on, it was said that those people were brought in from Angola and brought in from Congo. So they were not Zambians. Do I have facts on that? I was told. So it may not be true, but what is factual is that they didn't look Zambians. This guy, I look back, Kalenga, is imagine a big guy like King Kong. And you are running.
Kong?
It's huge.
That's how I could see this guy running behind me like
King Kong?
Hey, dude, you know what it means.
No, I do not. Because King Kong was as big as a skyscraper.
that's now in the view. I look back. That's what I could see. And next, I ran for my life. I look back. This guy is taking out an axe and throwing it towards my head. I look. The axe was coming here. I ducked forward to get my head forward. The axe hit my back here, and I ran. The police were also scampering. Next I knew it, I was being driven from there in this Kalitu car BMW with my bodyguard. They managed to hit my bodyguard in the head, split his head half, and thank God he didn't die. And next we were at
They
Midlands.
split his head in half, but he didn't die.
Those are details. Put it a quarter, but his head, they hammered him in the head here, and there was blood, half split. We had Midlands. Next, they said they couldn't handle our assault, our thing. They took us to UTH. That's where we're in the theater, and I had like 20 stitches in the back. And that's when the results were being announced. This boy had stitches the entire head. So that is the violence. If God didn't want me to be here, I believe that's the day I would have died. And that's the thing with the UPND and HH, double standards. Those people have not been arrested. The similar thing happened to our guy in northwestern Congo, and he wasn't lucky enough, he died. Where are the people who attacked me? How come they were not arrested? How come they to date, no one has been taken to court? That's why I fight these political fights. They've put in prison Chilangwa MP, Kawambo MP, Chilangwa Nixon. They've put Chitotela. They claim during election day of 2021, they banned UPND vehicle. An entire candidate MP banning a vehicle. And those people were not even in Kawambwa. One was in Kapiri, one was elsewhere. But they put them in jail, given them 10 years, they're out of parliament. So that's why you see me wearing a T-shirt with their faces, because I believe those are political persecution.
Right. Yeah, back to you. I think you're more interesting. There was
They are not.
yeah, well, I would want to focus on you. No, they'll have their turn. They'll come here and speak for themselves. There was a time that you really aligned yourselves with traditional leaders.
Traditional leaders?
Yeah.
Like?
I need to just check.
I know.
But that was a while back. I need to check the actual names.
I know when I was Lusaka province minister then under Sata, and one of your roles at the time, before there was a ministry of chiefs, and under HH, chiefs were put under local government. That's why you'd see Gary Nkombo ever at every traditional ceremony. The Komboka, when HH arrived, the picture at the airport wasn't attractive enough because Gary Nkombo was not there. I would have seen him worn in one of those skirts of his. He used to add color to it. That's a big loss they made. But when I was provincial minister of Lusaka, I visited all the chiefs in Ruangwa and elsewhere. In southern province.
Was that a strategy?
It's part. If you're a politician, you have to respect chiefs. I visited all the chiefs in southern province when I was provincial minister, at least 80% of them. But then other than that, one of the chiefs that I'm very close to, because he was a friend to Sata, was paramount chief from Pezeni. They were very close with Sata. And when Arabi from Eastern, the entire Eastern supported and the chief supported Arabi, Pezeni went for Sata and allowed Sata to even hold a rally at the Lewani chiefdom at his palace. But then when Sata won, Pezeni, I don't know what he expected from Sata, but all I know is I would get calls. I would come to my house and say, your uncle is not allowing me to see me. George Chela is not allowing me. So me at the role of cooling the old man, would have a drink together, non-alcoholic
mocktails.
Yeah.
because
From
we were
brothers.
Because we are brothers. So I developed this relationship with Mpezeni as his younger brother, and then I saw how him and Sata would joke. They would tell each other off, insult each other off. Sata was president, but Mpezeni would tell him off, get out, you would watch chabe chabe, and you say, you were cut chabe chabe. So I learned how they play chimbuya, and if you see me, I play a lot of chimbuya because I was learning from Sata by observation. So I'm very close from Mpezeni. He looks at me as his nephew, but I also traditionally don't respect him. I tell him off because I saw the chimbuya. So I'm very close to him. But I don't play this game of using chiefs for political gain. I respect them. Even when I went in Northern Province, Muchinga, I've just come back now. I went to all districts, but I didn't see any chief because when it's time to see, I don't use my work for chiefs. When I have time, I pay homage to them when there's a traditional ceremony and all that. Even traditional ceremonies, I hardly attend them because they've so been politicized and they are cadres. I would have loved to go to Komboka, but the cadres of UPND take over, like it's a UPND traditional ceremony.
Again, back
like
to you.
Like it's a HH traditional ceremony.
Again, back to you, Mr. Sampa. 2015, you resigned from government. Mm-hmm. You used the reason that this was for PF mobilization.
No. Good you asked that. Do you know, I'll go down in history in Zambia amongst the only ministers or amongst the less than 5 ministers who've resigned from a ruling party to go to opposition. So that's why I laugh when people say, you like to go where it's happening. No, I'm not like my brother. Okay, they make that accusation about Nevers Mumba. Whether true or not, that's for him to come and explain. But they say wherever there's a government, he goes there. He doesn't like to be in opposition. But me, when Edgar Lungu won, remember he made me Deputy Minister of Commerce. Actually, even him, do you want to know how he dribbled me?
Who?
Edgar Lungu. As president. Remember we're talking about how HH dribbled me.
So everybody dribbled you.
Why aren't you doing the dribbling at all?
Mbappe always, they enjoy dribbling Mbappe because he's a dribbler. So when we were fighting, remember I said he won in Kawe, I won, 2 factions came up. Then we had the Catholics, and I remember Father Chilinda, may he so rest in peace. Like now it's 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before filing in. So they called us at St. Ignatius. Edgar Lungu seated here and me seated here. And Bishop Banda, the one who is the bishop for Lusaka, Archbishop for Lusaka. I think then he was for Kabwe or the Copper Belt. So all the bishops of Zambia came to St. Ignatius, brought by the late Father Chilinda, may so rest in peace. Me and Edgar Lungu seated. So they told me, you are young, give in to Edgar, support him. And then they brought up the same thing you are trying to bring up. You make people pregnant, you have girlfriends. It's a narrative that everyone...
Do you know Nick Cannon?
Who?
Nick Cannon.
Yes. Oh, the Mariah Carey guy, is it? What about him?
Do you know how many kids he has?
Tell me.
How many
13
kids?
now?
13 or 14 now.
So they try to bring that narrative to me. Even when I'm married, we have little kids with my wife. They run out of that. They create other pregnancies that don't know.
With much emphasis on happily married.
Happily married. We happily married. But a lot of intruders bringing lies. These same lies. So here, take this Kalenga.
Yes.
We're in church. There's an office there at St. Ignatius, in the back room. Mao Sampa here, Edgar Lungu there. All the Catholic bishops of Zambia seated. Archbishop Banda was one of them. They are now telling me to give in to Edgar Lungu. And they say, then I said, okay, since you are saying I should give him, and you've given all the reasons, I'm young, my time will come, and whatever you've given, okay, and I respect you because I grew up in a Catholic family, I'll give in. But President Edgar Lungu, what will you make me when you win? I said, can you make me vice president then? President then go and said, Tukamona, there's a lot of demand for that. Then the bishops came in, Father Chinda said, leave that to us. We'll manage this process. If you are not vice president after he wins, if you support him, maybe you'll be finance minister, maybe you'll be defense minister, maybe you'll be foreign affairs minister. Those are the top three. You know, ministers are ranked, yeah?
What's the top three again?
Finance, defense, and...
Have you seen that chart of ministers? You find
cabinet,
it in cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
The one at the bottom are the least ranked. It's like they are corporals or sergeants. The one on top, close to the president, you are like the generals. So you have rankings.
So finance,
so
defense.
even this, after HH, it's the running mate, the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
The one that comes first after that is defense. So
Right.
defense is number 3. Guess who comes third?
Finance.
Foreign affairs. So this young man, MP of Kapirimposhi, what's his name? You know him, the one who was fired eventually.
Kangombe.
No.
Oh, what's
Which Kangombe? Which newspaper do you read?
No.
What's his
the name is
name?
gone.
Who knows the?
Gone.
I know him very well. For MP for Kapirimposhi, the young man, Foreign Affairs Minister. We know him. The name will come. The young man. So when the UPND government HH made the first cabinet, he was Foreign Affairs Minister. In ranking, he was number 4. Then comes defense. Then comes the other ones, the layer there. So right now, Foreign Affairs, Haimbe is number 4 in government after defense. Then comes finance. So he said, no, the bishops told me, we'll ensure that you are one of those top. Okay. That's how I went in the campaign. And I was very braided at the time. I had a lot of money. Because when you're a candidate, sponsors come up and they give you money. As much as $50,000 cash, $100,000 cash, or as far as $1 million kwacha, they give you for campaigns. A politician needs business support, and business need politician to put the environment, the platform that pushes their business. That's why HH has lost it. He's a businessman. When he's become president, he hasn't enabled the private sector to have an environment where they make money. Whereas contracts, he brings foreigners for the road, Lusaka Ndola road, he brought foreigners, he could have given locals. So that's one, he's let down the private sector. So I campaigned, remember I've been promised, vice president, finance minister, or defense minister, or foreign affairs minister. President Edgar Lungu wins. He announced the vice president is Inonge winner. He announces the defense minister, I think it was Davis Mwila then. He announces foreign affairs minister Harry Kalaba and somebody. He announces the whole cabinet. So me, I'm seated at home. I've been dribbled. By the time he announces me, then he starts bringing, I know now you asked why I resigned. He started announcing ministers Vincent Mwale from MMD, the people we removed out of power. And he starts appointing MMD people. Me, he makes me deputy minister of commerce. From one-on-one for presidency, he makes me deputy minister. Like from one-on-one playing for Mbappe, position number 9, you're Griezmann, you're Mbappe, you're Messi. Then one of you has to be a coach. Instead of putting you to play number 9, they put you to the reserve team. Deputy minister was the reserve team. So I felt dribbled then. What was agreed in front of the bishops was not followed. But I stayed on for like 6 months. Then I saw, then he appointed Dora Siria as Minister of Information. I said, this is my sister, but she was the one who was doing a middle finger to us in Parliament. And then he appointed Dr. Kaingu, what's his first name? Kaingu, you know, Minister Kaingu? Yeah, I'm sure you know the children.
Why would you think I know the children and not the father? See, that's where you and I differ, Mr. Sampa.
I'm sure you know the daughter.
You know the daughter.
Then that is the man. He's now my uncle. We are talking about the history. But that's the man who ripped Sata's speech in Parliament. So I said, Sata's in the grave. All the enemies are being rewarded. And then I said, no, this enough is enough. I put in a resignation letter. I must conclude on this political line because this is also important. What I've never said, but I'll say it now. I wrote a resignation letter to President Edgar Lungu. I'm resigning as minister because you haven't honored, Deputy Minister of Commerce, you haven't honored what you promised. Or actually, I left it general. We had a meeting at State House and all ministers and MPs were there. And afterwards, when he walked to his office, I went to his office and gave him the letter. Boom. He read. Then I think I walked out. Before I got to the gate, I got called back. And I found, I can remember Chitotera was in there. Freedom's Kazu was in there. Then he said, Abamaus Bampere and Karata Bachita resigned. Chitotera stood where he was sitting. He came and knelt before me. No, withdraw the letter, boy. You can't resign now. Give him time. And Mulenga Sata was also in that office. He said, why? I said, no, you promised me to be minister. Now you're deputy minister. Then you are also appointing people from MMD. The people will move. That meeting, Elson took like 3 hours. Chitotela, Kazwe, and other ministers who were there begging me to withdraw the letter. And Edgar Lungu was allowing that conversation to go in, and they said, no, give me time and whatnot. But I told myself, like, once you resign, you can't withdraw. Because you withdraw, you walk out, then you get fired. I just said, no, let me think about it. I walked out, got out. You know me, they used to attack me. I take my Facebook, but now the same people attacking me, they are also on Facebook now. But I just published the resignation letter. So I'm one of the very few politicians in the history of Zambia to resign as a minister and go into opposition to fight what they think the current government and the current president is not doing right.
But don't you think that he also made you deputy minister? By him, I mean Lungu, just the same way as Sata also made you deputy minister so you could learn.
So what happened to the undertaking in front of bishops of the Catholic?
Again, he probably thought you're not the right person or you're not ready yet. Again, I keep going back to the same thing, right? That all these people that were in position of power.
I think when you ask Messi whether in a team to put Mbappe to play, they'll probably put Mbappe on the bench. Mm-hmm. My career and what people perceive and take is between me and the people. Like I said earlier on, President Lungu is a good man. Even then, here's the bit I got to learn later on. He had actually appointed me as sports minister in his first cabinet, and the letter was signed. Remember, I had gone to do the appointment in Mfue, or Kasaba Bay in Mfue. I got to be told by those who were close. Some people jumped on the plane, went there, and took Vincent Mwale and said, appoint him, remove Mao Sampa, take him back where Sata left him. Ale Milwa in this race. So there are people around who don't understand the reconciliation. They were not part of that unwritten agreement we had at the Catholic at St. Ignatius. Even now, when we've been fighting with President Edgar Lungu in this battle, they have been happy because their career depends on me and Edgar Lungu fighting within PF. So when they see we are making up, when I went to visit him at his house when we had mocktail,
brothers mocktail.
Some of those people around, they were upset and started saying, no, Mr. President, how come you at this meeting without him, without them? Even on my side, you had people like Kachavinga and Ngona saying, you went to see him without us. Who are you? But I'm the one who appointed you. So you should trust me that whatever I'm doing is in your best interest. Even HH, just going to see Edgar Lungu, they got upset. So people don't like me and President Edgar Lungu because they see the partnership. I think it's like Mbappe and Messi. so when they
you really love Mbappe.
When they try to partner, then the others try to frustrate that. So that's what it is.
Is soccer your favorite sport? Do you watch sport? Do you play any sport?
When I was young,
You've spoken about Mbappe a little too much today.
it's got a history.
Right.
But my favorite sports is football and basketball, and it's got history. When I was young, I used to play football bare feet. I think you saw me last Christmas. I was playing bare feet just to remind me of my childhood. Where I am now, I used to watch football at Matero Stadium and Independence Stadium in Matero as a young chap. I was a ball boy. You know ball boy?
Yep. By the side of the pitch.
So when Yuka finishes playing, they are going to
You can tell.
yeah, they are going to their dressing room. Our must-do thing as kids then, to show off, it could even get you a girl at the time when young, is when he's walking the dressing room, you go and pat him on the back. So even Kalusha is walking back, sweating, you pat him on the back. And then you go to your kids in the neighborhood. I patted Kalusha on the back. I patted Jack Chanda. I patted Jones Chilengi. So I grew up in that environment of football. Nearly every renowned soccer player that played at Independence Stadium and played for the national team, and I patted them on the back. I was that nosy. I'd get crushed in Independence Stadium. We had no money to pay, but I had my way of sneaking in, and like other chaps, despite the horses around, would find our way into the ground. We would not even watch in the stands. Somehow we get the game is being played there, and you are seated on the line like a ball boy. You make yourself a ball boy. But then, yeah, I love football. And where I am, I own a football team, Matero United. It's in Division 1, and I've owned it for a while. I support Lusaka Tigers, and as mayor, I was a patron for City of Lusaka there to support them. But guess what? When I was at high school, at Namianga Secondary School in Kalomo, it was an American missionary school, Church of Christ. So they had this thing of basketball, the court. So I started playing basketball. I became a good player. I was even a captain of my basketball team at school. You know Steve Curry?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. You know how he scores 3-pointers?
Yeah.
That's me. That's me.
You're
even
that good?
Even up to now, I score them.
I'd love to
I can
watch
even
that.
close my eyes, 3-pointers, I score them. So I love football and basketball. Well, at
my
my
last
house,
question.
I have a half basketball court.
I've seen it. I think.
Yeah. So I try to
That's
teach
any
my
good
kids and play.
Yeah, I wanted to know if there was anything that you do differently.
Ask me everything
Yeah, no,
that
no,
you've
no.
never asked.
No, no,
Now
we-
you
I'm
see,
coming. I've got a question as well.
I've told you the truth.
Pause.
And you've run out because only when there are lies you have a lot of
Yeah,
questions.
no. We keep going because I had to write down some of my questions. So looking back at the decisions that you made between 2014 and 2016, would you change anything? Would you think this helped or hurt your career?
No, everything happens for a reason, and God allows it for a reason.
Then how do you think your credibility is right now as a politician?
It's a matter of perspective on who is looking at my credibility. If they are looking at it from narratives that are not true, they will grade a certain way. If they are looking at it from somebody who loves people, from somebody who is professionally experienced, somebody who is educated but reduces themselves to any scenario, I can relate with any human being, as long as they're human in Zambia. Even people who are mad, people who are disabled, people who are old, young, people who are very poor, I can even eat a meal with them. But depends the narrative. My credibility is not true.
The highest office that you've held since you became a politician? Do you think it's mayor? What office do you think the highest?
What office can there be than a president of the
that you-
biggest opposition political party?
Cool. So what have you achieved?
It depends. It's relative.
According to you.
Since I became a president of the PF now and now Secretary General, you know there's been fights and factions, and I've been trying to harmonize. Some of it state-sponsored, but we are making progress. As my biggest achievement was as mayor. I don't think it makes me very proud. You all narrow it to Wi-Fi. If it pleases you, I failed to bring Wi-Fi, but I achieved a lot. That's when we started Boba. We are reaching out to people. During COVID, we had so much credibility and companies, big companies in the country, Coca-Cola, Trade King, they would even entrust us with goods and say, you go and give the poor. And every day our house was full of poor. I even recruited volunteers using their own vehicles and cars. They would come and get cabbages, drinks, soft drinks, chibuku that was given to us by national breweries, because we are trying to stop people from going to the bars. We even got beers from Zambia breweries and drinks. So we'd ask people, call us if you need this. I say, I need a beer, I need chibuku, I need a soft drink. Okay, are you found? A vehicle would go, volunteers, and deliver. We don't have food, but if we go out, we'll get COVID. We had meal to deliver for them. So that's one big achievement. And also when I was mayor, the only time and the only mayor in the recent history that had no breakdown of cholera, because we had what we called Ubusaka project, where Dimutale Mwanza, Mainga, Mainga Mwanga, and others, I brought them on board to publicize for people to stay clean and keep the environment clean. So it was all about awareness, and people knew to wash their hands, people knew not to drink water if it's not boiled, and we had in my time as mayor for 3 years, there was no cholera outbreak in Lusaka.
So
that's
right now,
an achievement.
So right now there's cholera because celebrities are not telling people to wash their hands?
I don't want to judge my sister. All I know is mayor after me and mayors before, there was cholera outbreak. In my time, there was no cholera outbreak. I believe I stayed as a mayor. I'll go in history as one that stayed close to the people. They were very close to me. And
somebody asked the question, what happened between you and Simon Mwalane? Is there something happening that we don't know? When
I was mayor, I also is one of the people I recruited voluntarily to be on my Ubusaka. You see, Google, you find him with a T-shirt written Ubusaka to help me project the message of people to be clean. And he was good at it. And also, there were issues around that more of his. There was an alley that was closed behind. I went and opened it because it's a public road. But he was a true supporter of my office to keep Lusaka clean as he does. But and we've been good. At my wedding, I remember he donated 5,000 kwacha, and he was on my lineup.
The question, Bwana, is there anything bad between you and the man?
He decided on his own accord, I'm in opposition, to start attacking me. I just saw posts, Miles is a liar, he's a crook. Edgar Lungu is the same nonsense. Edgar Lungu has paid him money. So he started attacking me and substantiated. So I sued him, and the case is in the High Court for defamation, because I want him to prove that Edgar Lungu paid me money to give him PF. He wrote, Sampa, Edgar Lungu has paid Miles Sampa money to give him PF. He's a crook. So I took offense. More him, because I had been close to him for years, and he's a brother, but he starts attacking me and substantiated. So to date, and in Matero, when you start a fight, it doesn't finish until you see to the end. Even if somebody slaps you, they'll think the fight has finished.
Building, right, where there was your face and Edgar Lungu's face.
During that was when Edgar was in power. So
then that when the issue started between you and Simon Mwalane?
No. Then
because of the billboard.
No, we resolved that. When we were in power, we were buddies. When I was mayor, we were buddies. He was in my lineup.
Okay.
It's now that when HH won, he's now switched camp. He supports HH. I have no problem with anybody supporting HH or UPND. It's democracy. People will tell you how people today they are supporting me. They go support my opponents, even within PF. Then they realize there's nothing there. They start calling me to come back. Some we take them back, some we don't. But he himself, he didn't need to support me. He wasn't support. Even when I was standing as MP, I think he would post in my support. I think there you see records where he supported me as mayor. So beyond that, I started seeing him as a brother. I'd even go and have meals at the mother's Matebeto place, and we'd do videos together. But until he posted attacking me that I'm a crook, and I know I'm not a crook. And I know Edgar Lungu has not given me money for PF. I know HH never gave me money for PF, or nobody gave me any money. I don't need any money for politics. I do it for a service. And when I see there's a vacancy and I think I'm capable, I go for it. I just refuse anyone dribbling me. So because
Though you refuse, you've been dribbled so many times.
I also dribble them
For
so
somebody
many
who
times.
found a way into the stadium when he didn't have money, you would go in and watch soccer. It's hard to believe that you failed to find a way to the.
You win some, you lose some. There's a football match coming in August 26.
Have you been winning though?
I'm going to win. I'm a president of PF. It's all. I'm secretary general.
Well, we'll
of PF.
confirm that when Lungu comes back, right?
Don't be one of those who are trying to create a fight between me and President.
No,
Whenever
you're
you-
almost saying
the
you're
one that
waiting for
said
him to
that.
come back because you need his blessing as the father of the party.
So it doesn't mean that we are fighting. I have acknowledged he's the father of the party. So I need his consultation before I take the next move. Because if I didn't have that consideration, you know what? By now I would have announced my running mate for 2026 is Kalenga.
And you would ask 6 people to come with their files as well.
So question, Mr. Sampa. This issue went to court to question your credibility of your presidency in the PF, right?
Yeah.
Who took this to court?
So now when I've been president of PF,
After you took the
I
reins,
won,
yes, it went to court.
everybody
So-
went to court. So yes,
By everybody, is Mr. Lungu part of those people?
No, not him. But at the time, now we are like one unit. And Raflo Nakachinda went to court. He called himself the Secretary General of the party. The ruling came, preliminary ruling came, you lost. They told him, you are not the Secretary General, Bwana. Who appointed you? He said, oh, it's given when they appointed me as Secretary General. But we argued, but who is given when? Is acting president. There is no position of acting president in the PF constitution. Who appointed given Luinda? No, it's Edgar Lungu. Where's the letter of appointment? The letter was produced. But this was after he had resigned. We have this letter of resignation. So he lost that he wasn't SG because he was appointed by somebody who was no power to appoint him. The other candidates, the 10, remember we are 10 that paid 200,000. So when I won
2 million.
200,000.
I'm saying 2 million times 10.
Yeah, I don't know where that money went.
Wherever the money
I never
goes to.
found that money in the PF account. I'm a signatory to the PF account now. When Sata was there, I was a signatory. So when President Nung came on, I got removed for many years. But now when we've taken over PF, I'm one of the signatories. But we never found that money, the 2 million you're talking about. That's a story of another day. But so the 9 candidates went to court as well. They, in their own wisdom, they went to the Constitutional Court. But we put in application. Court, you argue using law, not emotions. We argued that case was thrown out, so that's number 2 I won. Won the Nakachinda one, and then one also for the 10 candidates. Then another group also went to court. But the long and short of it, I think I won 4 cases within PF to confirm me. Because when your opponent's challenging you loses, you win. That means you are confirmed. So 4 times. Now these ones also, when I won, I appointed Morgan Ngona as Secretary General and Chabinga as leader of opposition. So when I went to see Edgar Lungu, they declared themselves, Miles is not president, we are presidents. And when you tell the speaker who is there, they say no. When I realized that their agenda was to sell PF to HH, their agenda was to they expelled 10 MPs to kill PF. When I realized that was their agenda sponsored by HH, that's Chabinga, who had appointed as leader of opposition, as Ngona, as SG, I fired both of them. I fired the Secretary General. He went to court and obtained a stay. A stay meaning the judge said, he's come, said you fired him illegally. So I want to hear his case. So matters have been retained before you fired him. So he's still SG and your president is not fired until I finish hearing the case. So as we went attacking that stay, we say no, even if we're hearing the case, he can't remain as SG because he's killing the party. That's when they went to say, oh, PF is in alliance with UPND. We argued that case. The judge agreed with us and removed that stay, meaning matters revert back to when I fired him. So Ngona is fired, is not SG, because when I filed, I'd appointed myself. So that confirmed me as president of PF and secretary general. So I'm holding 2 positions now. So I've won all legal battles, and they're still going back. I'm confident of winning, because when the law is on your side, you win a case in court. When you go with emotions, where I am, I don't go to court if I'm not convinced I have a legal case. Like Simon Mwewa, I would not have sued him if I didn't think he's defamed. But I know he's defamed me. I know it's a lie. Edgar Lungu didn't give me money. It's a lie. I'm not a crook. You need to prove in court. And until I see that case to judgment, I'll not rest, no matter how long it takes.
So where's the case now?
We're waiting for I don't want to disclose what.
That's fine.
It's in court.
That's
and,
fine. That's okay.
and let's wait for judgment. It's in court. Let's wait. I don't want to empower him with information.
That's fine.
Information he doesn't know. It's still active in court. I don't want to talk about it. But it will never die until I see judgment. I take on cases in court, no matter how long it takes. If I think there's injustice, doesn't on me, and I think the law is on my side. Like I've taken Mopani. The government has sold that mine without seeking approval from Parliament, as per Article 210 of the Zambian Constitution. They say whenever you're selling anything owned by the public, ask permission from Parliament. They have the numbers. They can win anything, because even if we oppose, it goes to a vote, they win. But in their own way of trying to hide, they just sold it. We just know that it's now with Dubai. So that one case, I'll take it on, because I know the law is on my side.
Mr. Sampa, what's your, just give me a few, in closing, a few of your policies. If you are president today, your first 100 days, let me know what that looks like.
Oh, because of my experience today at the Registrar of Society and Home Affairs, where I would go from one office, it's locked. One office of the registrar assistant is locked. And I thought, this is nonsense. This is a public office. These are people who are paid bigly to
Bigly? Sound like Trump.
To pay people, to pay attention to people's needs. It's a public office, but it's locked. So in the first few days when we take over, I'll make it a law. All public ministries and their offices, closing the door will be an offense. All the doors must be open, including the ministers' doors. And all officials, because they go there to serve the people, not to lock themselves. And all meetings, because there they told us the Registrar of Society is in a meeting from 9 until 16 hours. And for sure I was in that meeting. How can you talk for that long? So a maximum, I'll put a bill, a law, that a maximum of any meeting in the ministry should be 2 hours. What can you talk about beyond 2 hours?
Well, maybe the count is sitting allowance by the hour.
Yeah, but keep going.
100 days. Please, sir, you're circumventing the question here.
Then there'll be real empowerment. No one has done anything for the youths. The HH lied that you would give the jobs to the youths.
We're not talking about HH, we're talking about you. What would you do?
Who is the president of Zambia?
We are talking about
your first
you.
100 days
You are president
without
now.
HH.
What would you do?
Okay. You need love to protect HH.
No. The question is simple. It's you.
It's
what
you.
would you do?
You are
the
here,
first
we're asking you
100
about
days?
you.
The Easterners say at Wamutu Kuru Sale Wankonya. Do you understand that?
No.
That if you have a big head,
People keep hitting it.
you can't hide. And that's what the president is. You are the owner of the country. The buck stops with you.
You're going to a girl and telling her what every other guy is not doing for her.
No, that's what.
Tell us what you're going to do for that girl.
No. So the girl is with this guy. So I go to her and say, this guy is wasting your time. He's never taken you to Korea. He's never bought you pizza. No, but you know what HH is doing? No, this is the last thing I'll say.
Mr. Sampa, Mr. Sampa.
Your
I
first
want
100
to know
days.
about you and what you would do. Right now, you just say something very, in my opinion, insignificant.
No. Okay.
About doors being open and closed.
Allow me saying just one last thing about HH. I promise not to say anything more. Listen, HH is with this girl. Kalenga. This is the last thing I'll say about HH.
Right.
HH with this girl. Okay?
Called Zambia.
He got her from Kalenga. Or he got her from this guy. And this guy is called Edgar Lungu. He's with this girl. Then he keeps talking about the former boyfriend. That guy, the pizza I used to buy you, He's not as big as this. In the night, that guy, the mocktail he used to bring.
The brother's mocktails.
It's not.
I'll bring your brother's mocktails.
So he's the one with the girl, which is Zambia in this case. But he keeps talking about the former boyfriend. In my case, I'm not with this girl called Zambia. That's why I'm telling Zambia, this boyfriend is wasting your time. Now, I won't say anything about HH.
Your first 100 days. Your first 100 days.
Empowerment, it's been a myth so far. Everyone just talks. They say, oh, that's why. No, I won't mention. It's very hard to say without referring to someone doing it wrongly.
We want to know what
Your first 100 days.
Can you tell us what you would do?
I, Sampa, will effect this and this change.
I mouse Emmanuel Bwalia Sampa when at 12 hours when I'm soning at Hero Stadium.
Oh my, this man.
Wait. Number one, the empowerment starts.
How?
I'll first announce my cabinet there. I'll be very decisive, right at Heroes. Number one, Zambia's population, about 60-65, are the youths, okay? Both male and female. And they're being dribbled and told we'll do this, and it's never been done over the past years. What I'll do is empower them. There's no better, and everyone lies will give you jobs. Jobs where? Government is not the government's job to give jobs. It's to create an enabling environment. So the first thing we'll do is to encourage the private sector. We'll reduce the tax by 50%. The tax of the private sector. If you have a company, you own a company SME, tax you pay will reduce by 50%. Then the tax, where will the money come from? We need the money to make prices cheaper, to empower people. Those mines, some of those mines that have been given crookedly to the foreigners, priority, some of those money that's been dubiously done will get them and put them in the hands of Zambians. Because if you, Elson, I give you Mopani mine, it's yours, your company, you form my company, Elson and Sons and Children and Daughters Limited, I give you Mopani. When you make that money, where will you spend it? You're going to give some to Kalenga, you're going to give some to the people at Masai because you are here in Zambia. Now, if you were in Dubai, you make the money, you take it there. So we'll make the mines
We got the point. Yeah, we got. Yeah.
And the next one, empowerment. There's one.
So you'll cut tax on SMEs.
I'll cut tax by half, but increase tax with the mines.
So how then are you gonna repay the debt that we currently have?
By reducing tax with the mine and increase tax by 10%.
Are you cutting tax with the mines or with the SMEs?
Sorry, that was a slip. Reduce tax with the SMEs, Zambian small companies, by 50% reduce. Those foreign-owned mines increase by 10%. That's enough money to pay the debt. They make a lot of money. The American ambassador told us we lose like $1 billion plus every year in unclaimed tax. They take out they export the copper. You know, they get the copper on the gold, they take it to Hong Kong, and the gold is worth, say, $200 million on the copper. It's paid there and it stays there, and they bring nothing here. So they dupe us. So would get there, and priority will be to the Zambian. The big one, how will I empower the youths? Zambia is a big country. I've just come with a team from Muchinga alone, even southern province, all the provinces. God gave us so much land. Do you know just one constituency or just one province, Northwestern, is twice as big as Switzerland or Norway or Denmark? But those countries are 50 times richer than Zambia. Empower the youths and tell them, my friend, if you go to Shiwangandu or you go to Mpika, I'm going to give you 50 hectares of land, and I'll give you seeds, and I'll give you money to buy a kavan and to buy a kachigayo with your family. But you should agree, you leave Lusaka and go and stay there. Here's your land and start up. That's empowerment. And you take all these excess people where they are fighting for small piece of land in Baule, in Kalingalinga, in Mtendere, Matero, in Kanyama. Tell them, move out of here. You'll be given a farm and a title deed and start up capital. Chibolia there, here in Kanyama, have plans for that. Take all these people up, give them farms and title deeds out around the country. That land then demolish Chibolia and put another football stadium there or boxing stadium.
But right now, with what you have just noticed, how much of that is empowering the youth and how much is that really enabling them? Because we've seen instances where land has been given to people that don't appreciate it, and all that grows there is grass.
Oh, they did that with Kanakantapa in Chongwe here under MMD and UNIB. Because then they were running, you don't manage human beings, adults, like little children. So they'll take them and put them in like a camp and say, farm here, and then the produce will sell and you have some of it. No, us will give you 1 hectare there in Kafue, or 5 hectares in Muchinga, Western, in Southern or Eastern Province. I'm careful in Western because there's still land and Barroso issues there. And Central, there's so much bush. And give you or any youth 5 hectares. And then give you capital from the mines. The 10% will increase on the mine. That's a lot of $1 million. To give one youth will repatriate, give them something like 200,000 kwacha, a startup capital there to start cows and seeds and the tractor and whatever. So the previous attempts never gave to deeds, never gave startup capital. Anybody on any land, they don't have title deeds, they don't feel the ownership. But they will not be allowed to sell that land maybe until after 30 years. So we'll put all those caveats.
Okay.
That is the major turning point. That is the milestone. My name is Miles. That is the milestone of Miles when he becomes the president. Land ownership to everyone that doesn't have it with a title deed around the country.
Okay. Seems we're having an issue. Are you recording though?
He's not recording audio, so no.
You're not recording audio?
Eddie, why weren't you?
Okay. So there's quite a lot that we didn't get into. I would want you to promise me that we are able to do a part 2.
Okay.
Because in terms of who Miles as the president is going to be, I would like to get more into that. To speak more about your policy. And that we didn't touch. We didn't touch about your early childhood, who Miles is today, what we see the men in front of us, what sort, like your background, where you came from, what cultivated the men that we see in front of us. So we would like to have a part 2 where we are able to have a lot more conversation around this.
Thank you so much, Oson. Thank you, Kalenga. I've never been interrogated this much. I get to tell the truth, and I like it because you are asking questions without an agenda. You just want to know the truth.
100%.
So I love that, and I'm happy you got me to tell the truth as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, my childhood is even another big story.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing a book. There's been attempts to do a book.
Beautiful.
I have a lot to tell about my upbringing as a child in Matero and elsewhere, and ended up where I am. Other than the political story is one story.
Absolutely.
The sports story is another
story.
And the so-called children that I don't have is another story. So I'm happy to do a part 2, and it's been insightful.
Beautiful.
And you've captured what we needed to. Thank you, and I look forward to coming back here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, man, this was interesting.
How many hours again?
2 hours?
Don't tell me we lost some of it.
No, we have all of it.
We have all
We
of it.
have all of it.
You have all of it?
Yeah. What we now need to figure out, because we need this up as an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gob, if you can figure out the sound, how to then put this up as an episode, it's okay. I'll hold this for you.
Yeah. So that was.
But yeah, this was an incredible episode. Again, gentlemen, ladies, I know we're slightly late, but yeah.
Now I can test you.
Until
Yes, please.
next week.
Have a lovely night, day,
Deuces.
whatever time you're watching this.